the Irish people are rising at the moment, and you know we're sick of the two-tier society, the two-tier justice, the two-tier everything, two-tier housing other people before our own. It has to stop. We're going to stop it. You know, it's terrible. There's literally nowhere to get a room because all the hotels are full of all these migrants. You know what I mean? That's here for the free ride. You have a soft touch government. The whole world knows. Go to Ireland, you're going to get a free apartment. You're going to get free fucking money. You're going to get free phones, free e-scooters. Ukrainians know that they're going to get free insurance, free NCT, free tax. They don't have to have any of them. They're exempt, which is ridiculous. You know what I mean? So
it's people like yourselves that give me a little phone now and let me think. Sorry.
Sorry. Ireland in 2026 is a country of contradictions. While the working people can't find homes and homelessness explodes on the streets, hundreds of millions in public money is flowing to private companies and well-connected individuals to house asylum seekers and refugees. New figures show just how deep this system runs, with a small number of operators receiving tens, even hundreds of millions of euro, all while the housing crisis gets worse and ordinary Irish families are pushed aside. This isn't compassion, it's simply a business model. Today, in Dublin city centre, we're showing the other side of that reality, a squatted building occupation now sheltering 17 homeless Irish people, abandoned by the state but reclaimed by necessity. This video isn't about attacking anyone, it's about exposing a system where crisis equals profit and Ireland is paying the price.
So what's your names?
Luke.
Fergal.
Naomi.
For over a decade, this man, Fergal Deary, has been fighting a system he says took everything away from him. A Monaghan businessman, removed from his own premises, barred by court orders he claims were built on a wrongful eviction. All while the Irish state continues to funnel public money into private hands, transferring wealth upward, rewarding corporations as ordinary people are continuously pushed aside. In 2020, that fight landed Fergal in Mountjoy prison, 8 weeks behind bars, not for a crime, but for refusing to submit to orders he believed were unjust. He could have walked free at any time, but he chose not to. Today, we hear directly from Fergal himself, because this isn't just about property, it's about power, principle, and who the system really serves. And you're saying you were illegally evicted from where? From your own places?
Own businesses in Monaghan, bar, restaurant, nightclub, 7 hours notice. Oh, there's been a host of this stuff was going on in the country.
And what was the reason that was given for it?
Well, basically, see, back in 2013 this happened.
Yep.
But the reason they'll see in Ireland the banks and receivers just what do you call it? They move in.
Yep.
And then you don't know who to turn to, or you don't know where to go for help, or who knows what, and you walk into a legal firm, and the next thing they're in bed with the bank and the receiver, because there's a whole host of shit going on, you know.
Washing each other's
hands.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Come on up here a minute, sure.
Yeah.
What a cool house.
Yeah. A beautiful house.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is my abode for the moment.
Wow. Some view out the window. Yeah. What a view. How old would you say this house is?
17, it's on the door there, 1740 something.
Back to the 1700s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fucking nuts.
Yep.
This boy Seamus McInerney has got $500 million of the government for housing them, for housing all these.
For housing them?
For housing them. He owns Avondale House in Gardner Street. He has fucking a heap of properties around the city, and it's all full. They're just his new cattle, if you know what I mean.
So, the understanding that I have here is that it was basically taken off of them. And my understanding of it as well, based on just chatting with him, is that there was no real reason given behind it, and now this house here from the 1700s, right here on the quays, on the River Liffey in Dublin, has been turned into basically a squatting house. And the whole idea of this place is that this accommodation here that we're currently standing in was intended at one point to be an iPass centre. So, is it true that this place was intended to become an iPass centre? This one right here.
Basically, it was. Sharon McConville went for planning for 10 apartments on it.
Yep.
And then it was brought down to 7 apartments.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, only he's making all the money at the iPass.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be turning this into apartments. He actually, after the last boom in Ireland, his family had 30 odd million written off by AIB.
Yep.
And then and we were illegally evicted because we owned the other nightclub in Monaghan.
Yeah.
We were trading against them and they couldn't beat us legitimately, but they had the connections to have us put on the street. Now, also next door here, we have an old man called John Creed Reid, right?
Yeah.
And Seamus McInerney, he was staying in the Ripley Hotel down on Talbot Street, isn't that where it is?
Yeah.
And Seamus McInerney had him illegally evicted out of that hotel. And 4 guards carried him out of the room because he wanted the room for multiple iPass beds. Right? Now, then that led to this man being put into St James's, into the mental wing.
Yep.
And on coming out of the mental wing, he asked if he could come here because he knew of my debacle with the Bante.
Yep.
I said that's fine, and because of the trauma of being taken to from Longfields on the south side to St James's mental wing, he hasn't left that room in 5 months.
Wow.
You know, and he's been in the High Court a couple of times, and he was on the High Court on video links and that. But he's he's not in a good space since, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But look, there's so much of this stuff going on around the country.
Yep.
It needs to be. People need to come together and get something done about it now.
100%.
It's absolutely farcical what's going on, you know.
There's 3 residents up here you can do a podcast with to send to talk to us.
Oh yeah, great.
I'll show you where they are.
Brilliant.
They are.
Hello.
There you go.
Hello. How's it going? I'm Luke.
How you Luke?
All right.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Hello.
Sorry, we're just so cold here.
Yeah, I'd say you are.
How are you, Naomi? Nice to meet you. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, she's like,
What's the situation with the house here? Because I was just speaking to your man downstairs,
yeah.
and he said that you guys were also you were also evicted at one point as well. Or what's your story?
Well, I'm 22 years on the council list.
Yeah.
And I was rented.
Yep.
I've been rented. And my landlord, he lost his job or whatever. That's what he told me anyway.
Yeah.
He only gave me 3 days notice.
3 days notice.
3 days notice. And I went to the guards. They put me into a shelter.
Yep.
But the just the hostels are no good.
The hostels are not safe at all.
Not safe.
No.
Getting robbed.
Yeah.
People using drugs.
Oh yeah, it keeps you in the loop in those hostels.
The hospitals are not safe either.
Oh yeah.
I was in hospital here, look, a week ago.
A week ago.
And I came outside of it and I walked and 7 chaps with pickaxe handles with ballyclavers.
Are you serious?
Yeah, across here and there, so I just left to pick me up with somebody different.
And that was in a hospital.
Yeah, they're not safe.
It's gone mad.
Yeah, we were speaking to a few other people as well, and the number that they put out is 17,000 people down that are sleeping rough at the moment in Dublin.
I'd say multiply that by 3.
At least 3. Yeah, it's mental. It's mental to see what's going on at the moment here. I'm in disbelief walking around because we both left. We left Ireland in 2021 and we came back now to visit family. And just from 2021 till now, it's gone. It's just
Never
gone.
be back.
Yeah.
No, I don't think Ireland will ever be what it was even this
Yeah.
time last year. Say you go back 2020 even.
Yep. I think 2019 and 2020 around the pandemic, that's when everything really hit the fan, didn't it?
For me, anyway.
Big time. So many people's mental health went down the toilet as well. What's your opinion? Obviously, it's going to be very clear, but what's your opinion with the Irish government? Because they're not doing anything for people like you guys. Literally nothing.
No,
I
nothing.
can't get my head around it. It's not the people that are coming in. It's the government that are letting them in. If someone said to me or to anyone, okay, we're going to such a country,
Yep.
a lovely new home, we'll give you money every week, more than you earn in a year probably.
Yep.
When you be a bigger age, just throw it down.
Yep.
But they're doing that, and yet their own are dying on the streets. My opinion on the government, they're a pack of clowns.
Yep.
They have the country rallying to the ground, and they don't care because they clock off at 5 and go home to their little extravagant parties, and
And they're all just getting backhands from the EU as well.
it's all backhanders, yeah.
People of Ireland are afraid to avail of the services that are available here. That's the state that it's in.
Robbing them, jumped on by 5 girls.
It's a never-ending
You
loop.
wouldn't believe the things I could tell you. You're saying what she's making up. There's gang rapes going on, and there's nothing getting done about it. There's no justice. That's when they'll deport them back then.
Not even then sometimes.
Well, in 2 cases, I know 2 girls didn't get justice. Deported back to their countries.
Wow.
Sometimes they just relocate them to another European
Now, they probably
country.
relocate them and said
To
they
Europe, to
deported them
Germany
back.
or-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what happened.
I was out there about a week and a half ago, and I was sitting down with the couple, and sitting down, drowning and raining out, and a man comes over to me, an Irish man, and I said, could you spare a few pence for the homeless? Like,
Yep.
what did you say? He said, and I said it again to him, and he said, that's all right, I just had to make sure, he said, that you were Irish. Yeah. I mean, handed me out 50 quid.
No way. Yeah, fair play to him.
He says, I won't give it, he says, they're destroying our countries.
Yep. They literally are. They're walking over the people.
Elderly people and everything afraid to go out
Yep.
to shop because these gangs.
Yep.
It's disgraceful, and it's only going to get worse.
Ireland, it's not like Ireland anymore.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It just breaks my heart because I really love the Irish people and the Irish culture, and seeing what's going on here is just, I don't know. I don't even understand how somebody can justify it anymore.
And
Can't.
we're under court thing. We should be out by the 29th or something.
Yeah.
From here,
Yeah.
they're going to try and forcefully take you out, is it?
29th.
29th of this month.
Next month, I think. I'm
Next
not
month.
sure. Yeah.
He's get the whole story behind the house again. It's good idea. But Fergal has been fighting Bandy a long time.
Yeah.
But the lads, a couple of us, you got into the house there last, what was it, about 7-8 months ago, Fergal, wasn't it? I picked up a couple of homeless people off the street.
Yeah.
Got them in, and that was the start of it then. And pretty much around the start of it, and then from then on in, there's different people come and go. Some people come and go, do you know what I mean, and leaving it. But it's the Deirdre that you spoke to here, she's here since the start, isn't she, Fergal?
August 24,
Yeah.
herself and the brother are here from.
More or less.
Yeah.
But it's now about carrying out another couple of actions that actually secure this house,
Yeah.
and that people can actually move into better accommodation.
They were saying up there that the 29th of this month that you're supposed to be out.
But that's
Is that what they...
That's
20,
right, yeah,
20,
an
20.
introduction, yeah.
You see, on the 17th of December,
Yep.
Justice Cregan gave an order that myself, John Alcock, and other named parties leave the house
Yeah.
on the 17th. So on the 18th of December, we changed the notices on the front of the building.
Yeah.
That a Northern Ireland company had taken over the occupation.
okay.
So that means then they have to go and take the Northern Ireland company into court.
Yep.
And as long as we have a couple of other moves made,
Yeah.
we can legitimately hold on to this place because it's been taken as compensation
Yeah.
for what they have done.
Collateral damage. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So there you are. That's
The amount of paperwork.
paperwork. Oh, things blacked
Oh,
out
it's all
Blacked out?
blacked out.
because they can't stand over what they did.
Is that the Epstein files by any
Yeah,
chance?
the Epstein files.
No, but
The Irish Epstein.
there you are. Yeah, that's the Monaghan that were stolen originally.
All right.
And then that's the ski bar in that building. Then we have the interior of the bar. We have the interior of the level 2 restaurant, the interior of the nightclub, and this would have been the smoking area for the nightclub.
All right.
So we were retaining somewhere in the region of $500,000 profits a year, but we weren't allowed to make money.
Profit, not revenue.
Not
Profit.
revenue, profit. We were turning $2 million a year, but we were shafted out of the way because our competitors.
It was too profitable.
Let's just say our competitors were well in the corporate boxes in Croke Park. Once you get Seamus and Frank McInerney, the two brothers, whom have they've had 30 million written off after the last boom themselves, and you can go and Google all this. It's all there to be seen, you know. Mm-hmm. And now the guts of $500 million. The whole family circle has got somewhere in the region of 400 to 500 million of payments for housing the immigrants now, or people coming in.
They're absolutely milking it with the migrants.
Yeah.
All the nieces and nephews and all the family are all.
They're all driving fucking brand new €250,000 Jeeps, living in €1 million houses.
Destroying the country, basically.
And the locals are dying in the street.
Monaghan's destroyed, isn't it? Monaghan is rampant now.
Well, what's the situation in Monaghan?
Monaghan's full of iPass, it is. Seamus Bandy, a lot of people say hate him in Monaghan, don't they now?
At this stage, he has turned this nightclub building into 16 apartments, and he's in the middle of leasing and passing them on to the county council, right? But if anybody wants to go to my TikTok account, Fergal JD2, I've actually put up one particular video shows how the whole thing is fraudulent from the start. They never even paid any money for that building. They took the whole thing. The receivers grabbed it as one property because we were trading in the two properties, and it wasn't until later on when I challenged it that then they realised what they'd done and actually handed the building just to the Banty without them paying any money for it. That's the sort of shit that's going on all over the country, you know.
Yeah, and your man Banty owned a nightclub in Monaghan. It was like competition for Fergal called Spy nightclub, and basically Spy wasn't making money. Fergal was booming, you know. Business was great, and basically he got a loan of 2.5 million, and the AIB they forwarded 1.8, but never gave the other 0.7, and there was no loan restructure, no nothing. So Fergal was being generous, handing him, you know, with his profit, handing him some money off the loan just as a good wish, good token, and basically just turned up his door one day, 7 days notice, and said you have to go. And basically
7 hours.
7 hours.
Yeah. And then Banty, the fucking biggest planter in the country, gets his nightclub for 650 grand, which is worth millions. You couldn't make it up.
It's the same thing. Like Sean Quinn there. I don't know if you have done any research into him at the moment now.
No.
Not yet.
Sean Quinn he went to buy a bank in the country here, right? So he did to buy Anglo-Irish Bank, and they showed him a set of books, right? So then it turned out that the set of books were fraudulent, but they took all his businesses off.
Great.
He employed 8,000 people. But if you Google Sean Quinn, there's actually new podcasts out about his situation there in the last few weeks. So there's a lot of this stuff now starting to come back to the top, and people are starting to realise what actually was going on all over the country, you know. But something has to give now, because there's so many of us have challenged stuff in the criminal system, the civil system, have been involved in trying to enlighten and encourage other people to stand up. So you know, something's going to come to the top now.
There does seem to be a massive shift happening in Ireland at the moment. A lot of people are starting to realise and starting to wake up to the fact, you know. 4 years ago, a lot of people would have called us fascist and racist for having our point of view and realising that this country is being planted, you know. But now a lot of them people have jumped the fence and are coming on side saying there's a right, you know, because you see a lot of people online saying, oh, I did think a certain way, but now I realise I've opened the eyes. You see, you just walk through the city centre, like it's like sub-Saharan Africa all of a sudden. It's like Cape Town. And I've nothing against black people, nothing against any particular race, but it's down to the government that's bringing these people in and opening the floodgates and bringing them all in, when you should have a situation where these people are elected by the Irish people to look after the Irish people first, not to house the whole fucking world. Do you know what I mean? And you know, and then these people are coming in and having their own marches saying, you know, you're racist, fascist, we want housing. They're actually having protests outside the door the last couple of weeks. Saying we're demanding housing.
If the Irish
people go back to their own countries, is my opinion, you know, without being rude. They're not genuine war victims. They're just fake migrants, as we know. You know what I mean?
It makes no sense at the end of the day.
It's for the free ride, you know.
If you don't have enough to feed yourself, if you don't have enough to create a meal for your own family on Christmas Day, you don't start inviting around all the cousins.
That's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
You have to get your house in order.
Synopsis, exactly.
So
If the local Irish would have been looked after, I don't think anybody would bat an eye if migration would have done like. Obviously in a controlled manner, but
limited migration worked here.
The problem is
years.
the local Irish people are already on the street. We have a major housing crisis in this country,
exactly.
And now this is going on. It's like you don't even know what way to look at anymore.
We would have occupied a couple of buildings over the years, so would have Fergal over the years to house homeless people ourselves, you know what I mean? Because the government are failing their duties, and it's the same stuff. I'm an activism say about that in the last 18 years, and every year we're out feel fair. Don't you see loads of people dying on the streets? You hear about it all the time. There's only a homeless woman, John. Remember there last week was a homeless woman. 4 days ago. I didn't even realise the other 3.
And there was the Natasha over on Pier Street,
newspaper.
just outside. She died outside.
We were talking to some other
only 40 years.
a homeless woman. Her name is Nikita.
Yeah.
She said apparently it's 6 in the 6 now, but the bodies haven't been claimed because nobody knows them.
Four bodies have been claimed.
Yeah, so it's 2 more, but the bodies haven't been claimed, so they can't release the names.
And it doesn't even make the newspaper.
No, nobody seems to care.
It's
Another thing like say the tourism sector in Ireland is pretty much dead. I bumped into a Scottish couple there just about 2 months ago. A friend of mine walking through town, and they told us that they paid over €1,100 just for a weekend in a hotel, just for the hotel. You know what I mean? Because they said that there's literally nowhere to get a room because all the hotels are full of all these migrants. You know what I mean? That's here for the free ride. You have a soft touch government. The whole world knows. Go to Ireland, you're going to get a free apartment. You're going to get free fucking money. You're going to get free phones, free e-scooters. Ukrainians know that they're going to get free insurance, free NCT, free tax. They don't have to have any of them. They're exempt, which is ridiculous. You know what I mean? So the Irish people are rising at the moment, and you know we're sick of the 2-tier society, the 2-tier justice, the 2-tier everything, 2-tier housing other people before our own. It has to stop. We're going to stop it. You know, it's terrible. It's terrible what's happening. It really is. It's shocking.
In 2017, I was reporting on social media what was going on to do with what had happened to me in the courts in Monaghan, and they fired me into Clover Hill jail for social media, and took me 3.5 months to get out.
Nice.
So that's the sort of stuff that they actually at another stage. At another stage, they put me into jail indefinitely, and they had let me out after 115 days because I shouldn't have been there in the first place. So look, I've
Just for speaking.
just for pushing the boundaries.
Exposing the corruption, basically.
You know, it's very hard to fathom what goes on until you get stuck into the middle of them, and you're a thorn in their side, and if you get the brick pulled out of the dam, it's going to have serious financial implications for them and legal implications, because they're going to have to do something now with Seamus McEnany from a fraud perspective, given everything that's gone on, you know.
Oh yeah.
Like, and he's another fella along with him there called Kieran Moran, who owns a company called Active 8. This lad's 43, and his business did 70 million last year on solar panels, you know, and he's been signing fraudulent documents to suit the banting, right? But look at it, there's a whole circle of these boys, and once one goes, there's going to be a ripple effect.
The house of cards will go, once one of them goes, You have the McDermotts planting the country full of these people, degenerates I call them. You have Mel Sutcliffe planting the country full of these people as well, all making over 100 million. You have Dave Mooney, an ex-continuity IRA superbrass. He was, under the witness protection, and then all of a sudden he's just as much as Banty, over 180 million he's made from planting the country full of people that's attacking our women and children. It's an absolute disgrace, it is,
Streets of Dublin are not safe at all.
No, not at all, no.
Well,
It used to be. We used to think years ago that they were somewhat not safe, but I tell you, this is really after opening a lot of people.
Even the difference
the last
now.
4 years, they mounted these people around. And like you see in the South Anne Street, I don't know if you've seen Naomi and, sorry, forget your name again.
Luke.
Yeah. On South Anne Street there, I think it was about June, wasn't it? John, remember that there was 2 black fellas there in South Anne Street. Both of them were sex offenders. Both came in as fake migrants, and one stabbed the other fella to death. And then the other fella got away. He ran off down the road, got away from the police, but he was caught at the border up in the north, knowing he could just go back to England. A lot of them are bouncing from country to country, claiming multiple welfare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they're showing the documentation. I used to run a page on Facebook called Garda Checkpoints Dublin with over 250,000 followers, but it got shut down because I kept advertising protests on it. I was advertising basically Checkpoint, the speed trap information, but eventually shut us down. But a woman inboxed me on the page, right? She says, "Do you mind if I was tell you something?" But I want to remain anonymous, and I says, "Yeah, of course, no problem." But once I got changed to your son, but she told me that her husband was a fire brigade man, right? And she says, he's getting called up to the airport for every 3 weeks. And I said, every couple of weeks. I said, I haven't a clue. She said, at least two or three times a week, he's coming up to unblock the drains. And what's in the drains? Passports, driving licenses, and identification.
No way.
Like, I'm talking about thousands and tens of thousands in the drains. So this is what the government thinks is, we need. This is what the Irish people need. Diversity, say, is our strength.
They call it progress.
Yeah, if you were a genuine person coming into the country, why would you throw your ID away? Do you know what I mean? And 30, it's usually, Luke and Naomi, 30 countries is basically in a round figure what's coming into the country, right, from all South African continent mainly. And 27 of them have biometric passports. In other words, they can be checked. So that's why they're throwing the documentation away. They're not fleeing persecution, they're fleeing prosecution, many of them. They're coming here to start their new life, being on the run for war crimes, sex offences, murders and fucking child trafficking, everything. It's fucking disgraceful. We need to get rid of this government out of power, urgently do. It's absolutely disgrace what's going on,
Yeah, the sooner the better.
Yeah, we need to get rid of them fast.
I love your t-shirt.
Yeah, great again. Yeah, get that on, yeah.
Oh, can you get that online somewhere?
A friend of mine got that from me. I'll get you a few of them if you want.
One paycheck away or your whole life can just do a 360.
Oh yeah, it's regular. It's happening to regular people here as well now. It's literally because people a lot of times they look at people that are in these situations.
And you presume they come from
you
a
immediately
background,
think,
or they have no family, or they're poor, or
they immediately
drugs.
point. Yeah, they point at their family and they say, you were raised wrong or anything like that. When the reality of it is, it's
from all walks of life.
Yep.
I have met people with degrees.
Yep.
Nurses, doctors. Materialistically, they had everything, and just sadly, something somewhere went wrong, and the system just failed.
Yep.
As I said, the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. It's absolutely,
the divide between the classes here is insane. It's huge. It's getting worse.
And I think, and you're probably going to think I'm crazy for this as well. It could be just one of my conspiracy theories. I think it's purposely being done.
Yep.
To make that division.
Yep.
To wipe out the...
Yeah. At this rate, the future of Ireland is non-existent.
It's non-existent. If we have to rely on the government that are in place now, and it's people like yourselves that give me a little hope now and let me think. Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. That there is
I think there is still hope there. As long as people are still willing to talk about these things, and as long as people they still have the Irish fight inside of them. There is still hope for sure. Would you mind if we went out and went across and went over to both of us will do it now. We're going to go over to Spar and we're going to get you some stuff. We're going to get you a bag of stuff.
Is there something you need?
Is there some stuff that you'd like?
Coffee, tea.
Oh, you don't have to do anything.
We want to help you.
Thank you so much.
It's okay. Don't worry. This is the reason why we value you guys watching our videos. Because when you guys watch the videos, it goes towards things like what we're about to do now. We're going to go and get these guys a care package, and it will keep them going probably for hopefully another few days.
Is this camera on, is it?
Yeah.
I think this one is full enough. I'll put the rest in the other one. I don't even know how to arrange myself emotionally here, and I don't know, we've been talking to so many people. Each and every one of them deserve a chance. Lots of them are willing to work. They're sending CVs in, they're looking for jobs. They're doing all they can really in the situation that they're in, but they're just not getting any chances here. And I don't even know, I'm so angry, I'm upset, I don't know. I think the majority of my feelings are probably anger right now. It's just like the bare minimum of human life is not provided in this country for a lot of people. And it's given to a lot of other people as a preferential treatment. Other people are doing really well here from the second that they arrive, but then other people who have been here their entire life, living, working, all of that. One wrong decision and you're on the street, and there's nothing you can do about it. And these people deserve a voice. They're all normal human beings. They deserve normal human treatment, but they're not getting any of it. It's really upsetting. I don't know. For me?
No
Are
way.
you sure? No.
Ah, you legend.
1916 rising, you know.
No way.
They've been very good to these people, so.
Are you sure about this?
100%. They've been very kind to these people.
Oh my God, no.
God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Very welcome.
Thank you so much for that.
Very welcome.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Right guys, so from James Joyce Bridge, that was a little bit of an insider look into a house that has been transformed from a potential iPass centre, a migrant centre, into basically a squatting house for homeless Irish native people. It's very, very sad. It's a horrific situation actually, but that's the reality of Ireland in 2026, and we hope that the few videos that we've done here in Dublin, as this is now the end of our time here in Ireland, we hope that these videos have given you hello. We hope that these videos have given you a little bit of a window, a little bit of a glimpse into just how messed up this country is in 2026.
Ireland is not all leprechauns and shamrocks and all of that. It is partially that if you go to the countryside, obviously, but coming to the city, you see the other side of Ireland, the other side of Dublin, and it's not a nice one.
So as the sun sets over Dublin, we're going to say goodbye. Christ is King.
God bless you all.
And we'll see you guys in the next adventure in the next country.